In high school sports, there are some things more important than winning.
Like helping student athletes build character, become better people, and prepare for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Chris Kaufman. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA. And we believe the purpose of high school sports is much greater than what the scoreboard says.
It's about teaching. It's about growth. It's about developing the whole person, not just the athlete.
That's our number one priority. Every sport, every student athlete, every day.
Let's champion what we believe in, like learning, like character, like integrity.
If you support the mission of high school sports and the life lessons they teach, then buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events. Join us in being a champion of high school sports.
This is what we do. This is what we believe. This is your IHSAA.
Academy Eagles and your Triton Trojans Big Blue Slam. On behalf of the Triton community and the entire staff and student body of Triton Junior Senior High School, we welcome Elkhart Christian Academy as our guest at tonight's contest. We ask that all fans and players demonstrate an attitude of good sportsmanship throughout today's contest. Your cooperation and positive support is greatly appreciated. Please rise, and gentlemen, kindly remove your hats while the Trojan singers will honor America in the singing of the national anthem.
All right, welcome everyone here to the Trojan Trench. Andy O'Hara alongside me is Caden Humich, the Hall of Famer Orion Limmer, and Mason Van Fossen running music for us here tonight at the Trench as we welcome in the Elkhart Christian Academy Lady Eagles as they come in with an 11-7 record after defeating Goshen last night, 3-2. Triton comes in 13-1 on the season after a win up at Jimtown. And they won the Triton tournament over the weekend with wins over Bremen, Knox, Culver, and Caston as they find themselves at their record. Of course, thanks to Taryn Meister for the starting lineups as she put those in. As we're working on the second camera, Orion's diligently working. Alexa's planning her wedding for this weekend, so congrats to her her and Ian from the TTSN crew. As we get our group out there. Everybody settles in. As Abby Krause is the libero for ECA. Ellie Liggett, Kayleen Thuku, Riley Verant, Shay Watson, Lily Secour, and Macy Haviland will be the group out there to start for the Lady Eagles. And, of course, the front line of Macy Hensley, Addison Veers, and Hannah Snyder, Jenna Bulis, Sierra Hawley in the libero spot, and Lena Dahl to start serving things off here as we're underway between these two teams. Liggett gets it across. Snyder pushing across the front line. Addison Veers swings through the block and gets the kill. Maggie West, the head coach, talking to her group on the floor. And it all back to go again. Verant pushing it across. Liggett couldn't quite get it blocked up front. Triton recovers. The Eagles recover. Triton back on the attack. Macy Hensley tips it across and drives it down. Verant couldn't quite get up to get a hold of that one. Lena Dahl goes back to serve again. Triton with an early 2-0 lead. Haviland up to the front line, and she'll wind up and take a swing. Bulis with a stop. Snyder and Triton cannot recover, and the Eagles are on the board after Triton gets called for 4 hits. Haviland back to serve. Hawley with the dig on the return. Addison Veers rolls it across. Watson wants it right back after she kept that one alive and gets the kill. Ties it at 2. And Macy Haviland will go back to serve again. Five seniors on this Eagles team. Snyder pushing it across the way. Addison Veers to tip it across. Verant with the nice dig to keep it alive, and ECA takes the lead. Haviland drives it across. Snyder brings it back. Addison Veers tips it with the left hand across the way on the front line. Had an open corner, and that's right where she put it. And Hannah Snyder goes back to serve. It'll be Triton's last home game until they host South Bend Career Academy. Kraus got it across. Maya Davis in the game. She'll push on over to Addison Veers, who goes back row. Secor were there waiting on it. Liggett back across, and they're going to say that they pass in front of the antenna, and Triton hangs on to it. Snyder to go again. Secor pushes it across. Liggett sends a free ball to the front line of Triton. Addison Veers winds up. She tips it over top. Thuku kept it alive, and Liggett couldn't quite clear it back the other way. Watson, excuse me. Snyder dials it in. And an ace, the first one of the night for Triton, for Hannah Snyder. It'll be her 13 eighths on the season coming into tonight. Counting that one. Secorp to the front line. Now Liggett takes a swing. Addison Veers rolls to the back line. Secor there. There's Maya Davis to swing away, and she gets the kill. Snyder now. Goes to Secor. Veront passes it back across the way as Watson got a good swing. Macy Hensley, but a good heads-up play by Liggett up front. Thuku and Veers battling along the front line. And Maya Davis reaches it up and tips it down, and the Eagles recover, sending a free ball across. Davis has got to bring it back into play, and Lena Dahl sends a free ball back over to the Eagles. Veront pushing it across the way. Here comes Watson, swings, blocked up front. Maya Davis. And Triton going on a run here. 6-0 run. Secor pushes it to Watson, pushing it back the other way as Kraus gets it across. Davis now pushing it back to Snyder. Here comes Maya Davis. She swings, blocked up front there by Watson. Liggett keeps it alive. Secor tracks it down, and no one home to get it back the other way as Triton continues to climb. I think we're going to see a timeout here from head coach Maggie West. So coming in on the season for Triton, 36 set wins on the year. You look at Elkhart Christian, 34 wins to their credit, but they've played quite a few really good teams. So they had a tough one against Goshen last night. They stopped their 2-game losing streak, but this is a team that's played extremely well. Has only lost 1 game on the road, not counting tournaments. So Ryan's getting his headset back on. Good, I got someone to talk to, so I'm not talking to myself the entire time.
Well, we got the camera figured out there.
Oh, there we go. Well, Ryan, good job, man. I know, that was kind of last second, and we got tired of going back and forth on the other ones, on the other transmitters tonight. Stacked it up a little bit, but it's all right.
Well, we bought new ones just in time, I guess.
I guess we did. We'll be set.
Just didn't bring them along this time.
Hey, that's, like I said, you and Kenny always impress me. I guess our team, our ability to scramble and get things working on a quick notice. Veront pushing it to Watson, swings through. Hawley's there to keep it alive. Snyder pushing across the way. Addison Veers winds up and sends it back as Kraus handled that one. Watson to Secor, sends a free ball back the other way as Snyder brings it back. Addison Veers swings it through, blocked up front by Liggett, and Maya Davis again off the rebound and knocks it in. You know what always impresses me, you guys, you keep your cool and just get it done. I'm just a walking ball of anxiety, I guess. Addison Veers goes right back, kind of pushed Veront back into the zone there. She couldn't quite get the hit she wanted on it.
Well, I guess I needed your help today. I couldn't figure out how to add a printer to Windows.
Well, you could have called me.
It wasn't finding it.
Triton gets the point there.
I just let Kenny take care of it.
That's all right. You can always call me. I'll answer. Watson tips it, blocked up front, but not strong enough as the Eagles stop the run. Substituting in will be Lillian Holdeman.
I'm going to. Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I would have just restarted the computer, I probably would have solved it, but
Yeah,
I didn't get that far.
Sometimes that's what happens. Ellie Liggett to serve. Printers can be very temperamental at times. Veers drives that one in. It's okay. It happens. There are some times when...
Well, when there's 3 printers in the building that are all the same, you don't know what their code word is.
Oh, well, that's... Usually we tend to name them that way. You can tell the difference sometimes, but that's all right. It happens. Watson drives, blocked up front. Kraus keeps it alive as Veront close to the line as Watson sends it across. Hensley up 2 front, no one home up by the net. The Eagles get the point. Now you can have a situation we had today where couldn't figure out why the network wasn't working. We have it wired in. We thought we was all good, and then we walked to the back of the machine and click. Guess what? The network cable was unplugged. That's why it wasn't reading on the network. So it happens, man. Avery Veers drives it up, and she just checked in. Ferran across the way to Watson. Blocked up front. Maya Davis has been active on the net here tonight. She wants it. She'll swing and drives it. Maya Davis with the approach and swing. As Addison Veers back to serve. Maya Davis been very impressive. Had some very impressive moments on Saturday as she continues to thrive here in her junior season. Trovatore sends it back across, or passes it across. Addison Veers swings to the back row as Gonzalez handled that one. Veers leaves it up for Davis, who mistimed her hit, couldn't get on top of it. Drives it out the back row. So the front line now, consisting of Holdeman, Varant, and Haviland, as Watson goes back to serve in the back row with Gonzalez and Trovatore. Haviland's hit goes out of bounds.
I guess Kenny's watching.
Yeah, I see that. Well, he's giving us instructions on how to add a printer.
Oh.
It's okay, Ryan. And an ace for Maya Davis as she sent a rocket, and Gonzalez just had to hang on to that one as Allie Westaver will now check in. It's Triton's second ace.
It's called Find an Inventory Program that runs on Mac.
Well, hey, you know, it always amazes me. There's the way different programs always work for different computers. And, you know, I had one about 10 years ago when I first started working on printers that they sent a program from a Mac to a Windows, and the orange was brown, and we couldn't figure out why until I learned where it came from. So it's all different. Can be. Just depends on the day. A lot of times my fix is unplug it, count to 10, plug it back in. Hopefully that's going to take care of it. And it may say 99.9% jam-free. That doesn't mean it's always jam-free. So Kenny's on remote support. Caden's kneeling down. Alexa's wedding planning tonight. They're in the home stretch for Ian and Alexa on Saturday. So Maya Davis locks it in. This lineup's unchanged. It's Allie Westaver. She just checked in a few moments ago for the timeout. Davis goes back to hit, or serve rather. Trovatore goes to Varant. Tipped by Davis, goes out of bounds. Good play up front by the Eagles. I guess as long as there's no mice in the printers, you're doing pretty good. I've heard stories. I've not personally seen it, but I've heard stories. Lily Sakur back to serve. I also heard stories where this was back in the early 90s where the people were putting donuts, I do not recommend this, were putting donuts on their copy glass, warming up their donuts, and wondered why they had circles on their copies. Fused it to the glass. Not recommended by this copier tech. Please do not do that. Well, it won't get hot enough anyway, anymore because it's LED, so it won't work anymore. Lily Sakur back to serve again. Addison Veers. Now to Westaver, winding up as Lena Dahl. She goes back row, tipped. And Avery Veers goes back to serve. Macy Hensley checks in on the front line with Lena Dahl. And Allie Westaver, Addison Veers, Bulis, and Avery Veers in the back row. Trovatore passes it back to Watson, blocked up front by Hensley. She handles it. Haviland to Trovatore. Ferrant swings, but it goes out of bounds. Triton hangs on to it. And Avery veers back to serve again. Macy Hensley winds up, goes top shelf, drives it. There's Watson there to answer back. Secor sends a free ball across inside the attack line, trying to corral it. As Addison Veers dumps it across. Look at it, goes top shelf. Veers went up with one hand, couldn't quite get the right drive on it, as Thuku will now check in along the front line. Ferrant goes back to serve. West Tabor to Macy Hensley. She goes back to Watson. Ferrant pushing it across to Haviland. Tipped up front. Sierra Hawley gets it off the tip. Pushed to Lena Dahl. Liggett pushing it back to Watson, who rolls it across. Lena Dahl wants to swing. She'll tip it across. Good play by Lena Dahl. Good recognition to drop it in the middle of the zone. As Lena Dahl goes back again. Ferrant goes to Thuku. She'll swing. Gets the kill. Haviland back to serve. They go full circle on their serving rotation as well. 19-10's our score. They'll adjust. Pass to Addison Veers. The block is strong up front by Liggett. Answers back. Addison Veers. Good recognition. The defense wasn't quite in position. It goes right back to that corner. Kraus now checks in. As Hannah Snyder checks in, as well as Maya Davis, they'll go back. She'll go back to serve. Hensley and Davis ready up front, but good heads-up play by Kraus to get it across. Addison Veers through the block. Ferrant pushing it back into play as Liggett sends one back across as Triton handles it. Macy Hensley swings and drives it down, but there's Kraus again with another heads-up play, and Addison Veers takes an empty spot in the zone, and Triton gets the point. Abby Kraus, the libero, with some nice plays in that back row for the Lady Eagles. That one's over. Addison Veers couldn't quite get the hit she wanted. Eagles back on the board as Lillian Holdeman will now check in. Liggett to serve. Veers, Snyder pushing it up. Addison Veers tips it across and drops it on that far sideline. Avery Veers now rotates in as Macy Hensley goes back to serve. Gonzalez pushes it to Watson, and she drives it in. Trovatore back to serve. Couldn't quite clear it. Triton gets a free point. As Addison Veers goes back to serve. Kraus handles it. Trovatore leaves it for Watson, who swings and gets a nice swing and a kill. Elkhart Christian not going away quietly in this first set. Watson back to serve. A double hit call on Triton. It's their first double hit call of the evening. Snyder pushes to the front row. Davis dumps it across, and Triton now with a chance to take the opening set as they're on the set point there, 24-14, as Maya Davis goes back to serve. She'll send a rocket to the back row. Trovatore to Haviland. Lena Dahl couldn't quite clear it. And 4 hits is the call. Eagles still alive. As Secure and Liggett will now check in. Score now to serve. Bulis on the return. Addison Veers goes back row. Watson stops it. Liggett close, but she'll cross underneath the net, I believe is what they're going to say. And that will end the opening set, 25-15. We'll take a break and be back here for the second set right after this.
Not everyone can be a champion in high school sports, but everyone can be a champion of high school sports.
That's right. Fans and parents can be champions. Coaches and officials, educators, and the media can all be champions of high school sports. I'm Paul Knighty, Commissioner of the IHSAA.
And I'm Assistant Commissioner Janie Ulmer. Being a champion of high school sports is about so much more than winning and losing, setting records, or raising trophies.
It's about supporting the mission of education-based athletics, preserving the opportunity for student athletes to grow and develop in the second classroom, and to protect high school sports for future generations to come.
Champions of high school sports are just one of the many reasons that education-based athletics in Indiana are so special.
And the easiest way to be a champion is by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic event.
This is showing support. This is championing high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
What makes education-based athletics in Indiana different from other youth sports programs?
Our coaches genuinely care about their student athletes as people, not just as athletes. And their top priority is teaching and mentoring, not winning and losing.
Our student athletes play for the love of the game. They have pride in their school and community. They want to represent something bigger than themselves.
Our parents and fans know the student athletes on the team. They've seen them grow up and care about them. They paint their faces, pack the stands, and cheer loud and proud. I'm Robert Falkins.
And I'm Carrie Rosati. We're both Assistant Commissioners of the IHSAA. High school sports in Indiana couldn't be more different from other youth sports programs.
And we wouldn't have it any other way. Be a champion of high school sports and buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is keeping education in front of athletics. This is passion you won't find anywhere else. This is your IHSAA.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here at the Trojan Trench. Andy O'Hara alongside me here is Caden Hummich on the sideline camera. Mason Van Fossen running the sound here tonight in the trench. And as always, the Hall of Famer Ryan Lemner here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network, broadcasting live on YouTube in the IHSAA Champions Network. As Triton continues to be perfect in the first set as they win their 15th consecutive opening set of the season, as they defeated Elkhart Christian 25-15 in that opening series. The JV won earlier tonight to improve to 13-2 on the season, winning 25-17 and 25-1. I'm sorry, that was not right. I didn't get the second score. I wrote it down. I'm sorry. Was that 16 or 15? Well, they won in 2 sets. I didn't write it down. I was like, that isn't right. They won. They had more points than one. We was in the middle of trying to make transmitters work. Haviland back to serve. Lineups are what we saw to start the opening match, and Macy Hensley with the kill right out of the gate here in the second set. Triton had a long day on Saturday. We got those 2 early games out of the way with Knox and Bremen. And then they had a tough test against against Culver, and then Caston back-to-back. As Caston and Triton, it was a battle for the hardware at the end, and Triton won out in that third set. It was a battle. That could be a fun one to watch later in the season. Addison Veer's blocked up front by Liggett and Thuku, the pair. Jenna Bulison's a shot across. Ferrant pushing it on over to Watson. She'll swing in, and that one goes out of bounds. I didn't look, but I believe that Triton and Pioneer are still the only two undefeated in the Hoosier North. Ryan gives me a thumbs up, so I did see that right. And a miscommunication in the back row as they over-rotated there. Triton opens up with a 3-point advantage in this second set. Kraus takes that one off the side, and they can't quite get a chance to return. That's Triton's third ace of the evening. Now Ryan's back.
I have a report that it was 25-17, 25-17.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I couldn't remember, but I knew it started with a 1, obviously, because I wrote a 1 down. I just didn't finish what I was writing. Liggett swings through. Hawley's there to answer. Hannah Snyder tips it across. Watson wants a chance at it. She'll swing through the block, and Bulis couldn't quite get it after the deflection, and Elkhart Christian is on the board. As Holdeman will check in to go on the front line as Liggett goes back to serve. Snyder pushes it across. Addison Veer setting it to the far side corner. Defense kind of over pursued for the swing, and Addison Veer very wisely sent it back to the other far side corner as Gonzalez now will check in. Maya Davis checking in for the Trojans as Snyder goes back to serve again. Lacey Hensley ensures that one won't come back across. That would have been a tough one for Elkhart Christian to play off of the net. Ferrant trying to fire up her team. Brings it back into play, pushing it across to Watson through the block, but Snyder's there off the deflection. Davis setting it to the back row to Gonzalez. Watson winds up, taps it across, and catches Triton. Goes right over top that front line. It was a good play by her in that left corner.
I did get the matches at Jimtown recorded last night, and I just had to find time to edit all the music out of them.
Yeah, you said the music was loud.
Loud and frequent.
Well, just want to make sure he's awake. That one looked like it was pretty good. It was right on that sideline.
I think after the first set, Coach Evelyn took our girls out in the lobby there because it was so loud.
Hey, home court advantage, man. There's nothing that says you can't do it during play. Maya Davis tips it across. Veers leaves it for Snyder, wants it right back to give and go, and Addison Veers tips it across.
I think it was more of an instance that the person running the sound wasn't hearing how loud it was where they were sitting.
Oh, hey. It's a Monday night. Watson swings through. Hit the top of the net as that one goes out of bounds. It's Monday night. You're allowed to get passes on Mondays. Gonzalez to the front line. Trovatore leaves it for Watson. Blocked up front. Addison and Avery Veers.
I'll tell you what, I was happy that Hunter's Hideaway was open last night.
Oh. Well, that's a bummer. Didn't tell me he was stopping there.
Didn't know it until we left Jimtown.
That one deflects off the top of the net. As Watson now back to serve. Triton leading 9-4. Bears keeps it alive. Snyder's got to play off the net. Maya Davis blocked up front by Holdeman. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers, who tips it across. Haviland in the right spot, but they're going to get a I'm going to say that Elkhart Christian was under the net. It's her second net violation here of the match. First one of this set. Their first of the game came at the end. That was the deciding point in the end of that first set. Strovatori leaves it for Haviland, who drives it across. Veers keeps it alive. Has to go full extension for that one as Maya Davis swings through the block. Lena Dahl trying to get a hand on that one. Holly keeps alive. Triton trying to settle it down as Lena Dahl swings. Maya Davis drives it and drops it just in that corner. A good hit by Maya Davis. Triton was trying to organize on the fly there, and they got it straightened out. Of course, I talked to Coach Crawl and Coach Shiley. Basketball is right around the corner.
How's her foot doing?
Doing okay. Sounds like we're getting some answers, I think, Thursday. So I asked to be off before basketball season. We're hopeful.
That's not far away.
It's not far. Davis goes right back, Veront. Good rally by the Eagles. Snyder goes to Davis, who drops it just inside that back line. Is the call. They're excited for basketball.
I'm ready for it. Why
Lindsay was asking if we feel safe out here on the roost here.
Oh.
I'm going to start calling this Orion's outpost.
I just got to remember, even if the bleachers are in, it's the same support system as if they're out.
Yes. Well,
it's just if we fall over, we're going to go.
Ain't nothing stopping us. The only thing I told her that's a little scary is when these girls are warming up for volleyball. I'm more in the action than I was behind the rail, but hey, keeps me on my toes. So that'll be a timeout for Elkhart Christian. So they played one conference game this year. That was against South Bend Career Academy, which they won that one. They are 2-0 against sectional opponents. They are 6-1 on the road and 3-2 at home. Had some tough tournaments. As Coach West firing up her group on the floor. And Julian's talking to Mom over there on the glass. Lost his footing. Waving at Mom through the glass. As Abby goes over to, of course, Abby will be our co-host for basketball. That should be fun. I can pick on Abby and she'll pick back. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that because Anna, you can pick on Anna. It'd take her a little bit to pick back on you, but Abby's she'll get right back to me. Alexa does that too, and it's like Caden. You pick on them, they pick back. And Maya Davis goes back to serve. Of course, football will be at Culver on Friday night. Have we figured out where we're sitting Friday yet?
No.
We're going to find out when we get there.
You're welcome to come, I guess.
Yeah, well, show up for that. I mean, it should be a nice night for football. There's no rain in the forecast. Should be a little cooler, but not cold. And they also have their fundraiser down there during that pork chop dinner thing, right, for the FFA?
Yeah.
See, there you go. So you also you can get pork chop. What's two new coaches in the Hoosier North is Maya Davis with her second ace of the evening. As that will give her 27 on the year. 2 here tonight, 25 coming into it. As Davis dials in. Watson pushes, and a good play up front by Trovator as Triton couldn't quite send the block the other way as Thuku will now check in. We could always broadcast that from home. Send you out there with the end zone camera. And a blocked up front. Liggett trying wants to say she broke the plane, but Liggett gets the tip in. Coach Evelyn in disbelief. Eagles with the point. Unfortunately, that point cancels out as Veron's serve couldn't quite clear. And Avery Veers goes back to serve. So as I noted earlier, Orion only one more home game for volleyball.
How's that possible?
Well, it's that year. Westaver goes to Lena Dahl, who drives it back to Sakura. It's close to that. And Lena Dahl right there splits the defenders and tips it down. It's hard to believe that it's... We're in there. We're getting in the push here. They'll be at... I lied. Wait, we host Winamac or are we at Winamac? I think we're at Winamac, right?
No, we host.
We do host Winamac, so I guess there's two more.
Okay.
Winamac
and Argus, yeah, because the Argus.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Argus forgot. So 3. So Andy Math showing in full swing tonight.
Oh, yeah, career. That's
Career Academy. That's the other one. It's like, man, I feel like Winamac was at home. I don't know why it says add on my schedule. Something else I need to fix. Bulis now as Westair pushing it on over to Macy Hensley, who drives it down, but there's Haviland to keep it alive with a nice dig. Nadal swings. Ferrant there to answer. Macy Hensley tips it across. Thuku blocked up front. Macy Hensley. The Eagles trying to keep it alive, and it goes out of bounds. Of course, Thursday they're at Bethany Christian, right?
Yes.
Well, I won't be broadcasting that one because I'm not going to come all the way home from Goshen to get switch work vehicle to personal vehicle and drive all the way back. Especially after I've got to drive to Illinois on early Saturday morning. Madison Veerson's a free shot across because it's Emmett's first birthday, my nephew's first birthday. And Uncle Andy's not going to miss that. I was told no live animals to give to him. I was going to buy him a donkey since it's kind of our thing, but my wife informed me that I can't haul a donkey in the van. Hawley with the dig, and somehow it stays alive. Nice heads-up play by Sierra Hawley. Westaver close to the net as Macy Hensley tips it across, puts on the brakes. Stays on her side of the net as Thuku rolls it across in the middle of the zone. Allie Westaver with the hustle play, and as Addison Veers just clears the net, and Triton gets the point on the rally.
You mean you can't call 1-800-DONKEY and get a donkey
If I started Wednesday night, I might get there in time for the party on Saturday afternoon. However, Grandpa won't be able to get there, and I'm kind of driving shuttle service. 3 kids and Grandpa. It's a good thing Grandpa's going to keep me sane. It's always fun going and visiting them over there in Illinois. Watson drives. Hawley handles it and Triton couldn't quite clear it. She looks at Coach Even. She knew. Might turn to get him with different deflections. Holdeman now checks in. And she'll check in for Engel, who comes off the floor. Oh. Freshman settled in. Liggett now to serve. She goes right to Hawley. Bulis sends a free ball across. Kraus to Ferrant. Leaves it for Thuku. Bulis hits that one, and it's going to be a point. As Coach Eunice will have to run that one down. Or I guess not. Athletic Director Eunice now. He's still coach. We'll call him coach. He's our coach technically, right?
Boss.
Boss man Eunice. There you go. Veers goes to the back row. Verant to Watson. Swings, drives. Veers there to answer. Macy Hensley sets it across. Verant to Kraus. Here comes Watson. Tips it over top of the defense. Addison Veers with a dig, but a heads-up play by Watson sends it down. A big play for the Eagles. Coach Evelyn going to call a timeout as he tries to refocus his big blue slam, trying to take control of this second set as they're 5 points away. I was looking. Did you look up at some of the scores for Elkhart Christian?
No.
I forgot to ask when I was down there. They went, if I read this right, I could be wrong. But it said, oh, now, why did it traipse over? It says they reached 30 points in a set.
Wow.
It was like 36-34 or 34-32 or something like that. I have to look it up now.
We beat Valley 3-1, right?
Yes. We sure did.
And in tourney, we were 4-0.
4-0. So we are 13-1 coming into tonight. And 3-0 in the conference, 3-0 against sectional opponents. Boy, my spreadsheet's all out of whack here tonight. Need to fix that. They get back to serve as the Eagles trying to go on a run here. Deep serve goes out the back row. Trying to bait Triton back as Gonzalez will rotate in for her. Watson and Kraus in the back row. Thuku, Varant, and Hold'em in the front line for the Lady Eagles. Addison Veers, Maya Davis, Macy Hensley the front line for Triton as Snyder, Dahl, and Sierra Hawley back in the back row for Triton. Snyder to serve. Deep serve, and Kraus as Triton gets her 5th ace of the evening. $128 aces on the season for Triton. Max Preps have been pretty accurate this year. That's where I get my stats from. Watson bumps it across. Hawley tries to keep it in play. Couldn't quite track it down. Trovatori will now check in. She'll go back to serve. He tracks it down, trying not to send a free ball across. The Eagles get in position. Watson wants to swing. She'll drive it, hits the top of the net. 4 hits will be the call. Avery Veers now to check in. She'll go on the front line with her sister, Maya Davis. The Eagles settling in as Macy Hensley back to serve. Goes right to Gonzalez in the middle. Watson drives. Davis has to take that one as it was a rocket on a nice hit, on a nice pass to Watson from Gonzalez. And a good swing up front. Watson back to serve. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers as he drives it down. Set point for Triton. Gonzalez to Trovatori, back to the back row to Watson, swings through. Snyder handles it. Avery Veers tips it, but there's Lena Dahl to bail her out. Varant goes back row on a good swing. And it all tips it across, and Triton takes the second set 25-15 to match the opening set as we'll take a break, be back for the third set right after this.
While high school sports help students develop their athletic skills, the real lessons in this second classroom are the skills needed for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Carrie Rosati. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA. In high school sports, student athletes aren't just running drills. They're learning discipline and work ethic.
They're not just watching film. They're learning the value of preparation and always finding ways to improve.
They're not just hitting the weight room. They're learning the importance of pushing through any challenges that come their way.
These aren't just some of the skills student athletes need to navigate the game. These are the skills they need to navigate life, to be successful people, to be good humans.
You can ensure these life lessons are taught for generations to come. Be a champion of high school sports and buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is preparing for the game. This is preparing for life. This is your IHSAA.
In high school sports, there are some things more important than winning.
Like helping student athletes build character, become better people, and prepare for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Chris Kaufman. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA, and we believe the purpose of high school sports is much greater than what the scoreboard says.
It's about teaching. It's about growth. It's about developing the whole person, not just the athlete.
That's our number one priority. Every sport, every student athlete, every day.
Let's champion what we believe in, like learning, like character, like integrity.
If you support the mission of high school sports and the life lessons they teach, then buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events. Join us in being a champion of high school sports.
This is what we do. This is what we believe. This is your IHSAA.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here at the Trojan Trench. Andy O'Hara with me here tonight is Caden Humwich and sideline camera Mason Van Fossen running our music tonight in the Trojan Trench. And as always, the Hall of Famer O'Reilly. We're here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network as we're broadcasting live on YouTube in the IHSAA Champions Network. Triton winning those opening two sets by a score of 25-15 as they settle in here. It's very strong on their home floor. As Elkhart Christian, final instructions from Coach West as they went in 5 sets last night with Goshen. Where they won the opening set. They lost the next 2, but then they won the 4th and 5th sets. It was a fight over there, man. I'm telling you, reading the scores, the set scores, it was a battle between two pretty evenly matched teams.
We went to Goshen a few years ago, didn't we?
Yes, we did. That was on. We played a game here. Made Margot run the JV camera, and you and I hustled up to Goshen. Then we got to eat at Southside Soda Shop. That was the first time we've ever ate there together. It's amazing how I always remember our stories, or our trips by food.
That's probably why we remember them.
That's probably why we do remember. All right, so here we go. Veron pushing it, leaving it for Liggett with a good swing and gets the kill shot. And Elkhart Christian takes the opening point here in the 3rd set. Hensley, Snyder, and Veers in the front line. Lena Dahl, Bulis, and Hawley in the back row. Haviland to serve in the back row with Sakur. And Veront as that one goes out of bounds. Thuku, Liggett, and Watson out there, so they're going to re-rotate. So now Watson, Sakur, and Kraus in the back row. Thuku, Veront, and Liggett, the front 3 for Elkhart Christian. Veront leaves it for Watson, swings, gets a nice drive, another good swing from Watson. And Macy Hensley and Maya got tied up and tumbles to the floor. And the thing was, everybody saw it and everybody's getting a good laugh. And Caden's down there singing to himself. Or talking. We can pick up the audio from his camera, find out what he's saying. Probably, Mom and Dad, I want a raise for my allowance.
A raise?
He wants a raise.
Oh, a raise.
He thinks he needs more money.
Oh, okay.
I think he needs to do more chores. Hensley now goes back. A good job by Gonzalez to keep it alive. Maya Davis swings, blocked up front. It was a strong one by Holdeman. Asveers dumps it to the front corner, and Elkhart Christian can't quite recover. And Triton takes their first lead here.
I'm probably going to have to go back to the 2 headphone headset so I can actually hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. And a nice play by Varant up front. Ties it back up at 3. As back and forth we go here to start this third set. Checking in now will be Eden Greatrix. She'll go back to serve. No, I didn't ask about her name. It was on my roster, but not on the official. Varant pushes it to Watson. She'll swing. Blocked up front. Maya Davis and Watson and Kraus recover. Addison Veers drives it home. It's Gonzalez in the right place, just a little too far back. As Triton retakes the lead by 1. Veers goes to Gonzalez. Varant to Watson. Good heads-up play by Snyder as Maya Davis sends it across. Watson tips over the front line, and Snyder tries to recover as Haviland will rotate in. Of course, thank you to Leah Alder for dinner tonight. Spaghetti. I had buttered noodles since I can't handle red sauce. She was accommodating.
I probably should have done the same, but we'll find out.
It was good. Lindahl couldn't quite keep it in. Triton winning a tip. It didn't look like anybody touched it. So Watson goes at Hawley. As the Eagles continue to target the libero for Triton. Haviland drives it. Elkhart Christian making good use of their hits, finding where the open spots are here in this third set.
I guess we got peanut butter bars awaiting us.
Oh, yes, I forgot about those. Davis couldn't quite clear. He's trying kind of spinning their wheels now, but Elkhart Christian, that's all due to some nice hitting, nice passing up front for the Eagles, and Triton will take a timeout as Coach Eamon tries to refocus in his Lady Trojans. But Elkhart Christian passing the ball nicely, hitting the ball. Now Ryan gets the schedule up there. So we host Winnemac, and then it'll be Argus the next night. Okay, so that has been rescheduled for the 20th.
I think.
Okay. We'll find out. Or as like I say, my favorite coach, Gary Kubiak, or my second favorite coach, always said that we're fixing to find out. He said that. I Denver Broncos coach, so it's. He always said that.
I've heard that before. I didn't know.
He always said that, and when there's somebody would ask, What are we? Do you think we'll be able to get things set for on Sunday? He goes, well, we're fixing to find out. He said it was always his answer. I loved it. They play it like every day on Denver radio. I love it.
Actually seen the end of that game last night.
Oh, yeah, wasn't that wild? Well, they were talking about that today is that the Hard Knocks, the Mason. Okay, there he goes.
Shut up.
And they were talking about, because it was on Hard Knocks, and he was like the last guy they added to the team. And then he made the team as like a big deal. And then first game of the year, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. And then he comes in and he takes a punt return back to win it, to walk it off.
In the pouring rain.
In the pouring rain. Although it was worse the night before. Addison Veers somehow keeps that one alive, and the Eagles continue to roll here in this third set.
Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game.
Oh, it was pouring.
It was raining one. Oh, yeah, that Sunday night football.
Yeah, it was really raining.
It was New York. That's why I got mixed up.
Well, yeah, they both played back-to-back nights. Dallas's defense, though, gave me some big help on fantasy. Kept 37 and 35 points in my two leagues. Jeez. That was a gift. Snyder passes to get to Lindahl. Back to volleyball as Triton gets back on the board. As Davis now to serve. 8-5, Elkhart Christian out in front as Varant dumps it across. Snyder, Avery Veers drives it into the far side corner. Good approach and drives it right down. Big sister with the push. And no reaction from Avery. And now we get a smile when she's not looking. So Westhaver now checks in. Davis trying to drop it short. Gives a free point to Elkhart Christian. Has got a couple rotations. Bulis now in. Secor checks in, as does Liggett. Secor now to serve. Westhaver passing it across the way. Lindahl fades away, drives it back. Secor kept the deep shot alive. Severe's passing up to Lindahl, who gets a nice approach. The block's up front, but it deflects out of bounds. Football players are kind of quiet over there tonight.
Not very many of them either.
I think we got some JV players up there, I think, in the middle part of the bleachers. Varant goes to Watson. He drives back to the back row, close to the net. Macy Hensley couldn't quite make a play on his ass, and veers his pass. It's a little too close to the net. And Hawley rotates back in, as well as Thuku for the Eagles. 10-7 in favor of the visiting Eagles. Varant to serve. Westhaver pushes it across. Addison Veers drives the back row. Secor handles it. Elkhart Christian really moving the floor well defensively and offensively. Let's try and gets it across. As Lindahl goes back to serve. And double hit called on the Eagles. That'll be their first double hit call of the evening. Triton also with one. Lindahl pushing into the back row. Secor on the return. It's close to the net. Addison Veers deflects it to the left. Saw an open spot on the front side of that. Lindahl drives it. Varant pushing it to Thuku. Swings it through the block. Good approach on a nice pass. As Varant set that one across the court. Set up Thuku with a nice approach and a swing. As Haviland goes back to serve. Deep serve. Bulis drives it. Haviland keeps it alive. Secor, but no one else to get that third hit. Back across. Ties it up at 11. Hannah Snyder back to serve. Varant leaves it for Liggett. Blocked up front, Macy Hensley. That one goes out of bounds. As Maya Davis ran it off the line. Triton takes the lead by one. The Eagles are rallying. Secor close to the net, but Varant plays it well away from the net. Watson swings, but it's blocked by Triton, but it goes out of bounds. Holdeman to check in for Secor. As Liggett rotates to the back row, as she goes back to serve, as we're tied up at 12. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers, drives it through. The block was strong, but she cracks the wall. It's back and forth we go in this third set. Gonzalez rotated in for Liggett. And Avery Veers now back in the game for Hawley. She'll go in the front row with Addison and Maya. Watson to swing, drives it. The good swing, that was a good find. Put in a tough spot for Lena to make a good play that she wanted. Squatrix will check in. Gonzalez up off the basket. Watson goes across. Here's Davis can't quite play it off the net. And Triton now trail by 2 and a timeout for Coach Evelyn. He'll take his second timeout of this third set. It's Triton trying to find themselves out there on the floor. This is a team that's handled pressure and came back strong this season. But Elkhart Christian playing strong here in this third set. They're wanting it more. Those points are coming in. They're fired up down here. And, granted they lost those first 2 sets, but this is a team that does not go away quietly. It's improved in all the games they played this season.
I've been told we need to vote for Addison Beers for South Bend Tribune Athlete of the Week.
Oh, yes, I voted. I voted today.
Oh, that's on their website, I take it?
Oh, I don't know. You click the link and you go there and it gives you a list and you just hit the one you want.
I didn't even know they did that anymore.
Well, apparently.
I guess I'm thinking of the WSBT.
Oh. Yeah, I voted today.
I guess I really didn't even know that South Bend Tribune existed anymore.
No, I can't remember the last time I actually put hands on a newspaper and actually looked at it. I read a lot online. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers, drives it. That one goes out of bounds. The Eagles now in control, leading by 3. As Leah brings Caden to water. Addison Veers trying to get Triton back on the board to stop this Elkhart Christian Academy run. Addison Veers drives it through the block and cracks the wall and gets Triton back on the board. See if Triton can go on a run here. Veers now to serve. Ferrant passing the ball well to Watson. Good 1-2 punch there between those two in the front row. As Watson back to serve. As the Eagles give everything they've got here in this third set. Davis keeps alive, but she'll slide underneath. Scary slide there. And that violation on Triton will be their first of the evening. It was a scary slide by Maya Davis. So dump it across. That one goes out of bounds. Triton back on the board. As Bielis now to rotate in. So Coach Evelyn will let Jenna go back to serve. Maya will come off the floor. Gonzalez handles the serve. Vermont drives it back across. Lena Dahl swings through the block. Good heads up play by Gonzalez. Haviland out of bounds. 2-point swing for Triton. They trail by 2. Bielis now goes to Watson. Vermont goes to Haviland, tips it through, and Veers couldn't quite corral it.
So evidently they let you vote as many times as you want.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you only vote once. Honor system. I guess I figure I voted and I voted once. Secor back to serve. Snyder leaves it for Lena Dahl, who tips it but couldn't quite clear it. As Elkhart Christian hits the 20-point mark. They're knocking on the door, 5 points away. Triton found themselves in a situation like this on Saturday. This is hit close to the net. Liggett drives it. The Veers cross into the net. But the ball goes out of bounds. Triton looking to find answers. Elkhart Christian trying to extend the match. Trying to push us to a 4th set. Trying to keep themselves alive. Westaver to Dahl. Out of bounds.
Have we lost a third set before?
Yes.
Okay.
That was against Mishawaka.
Ah.
That was the last time we've lost a third
Yeah,
set.
it didn't feel like we'd had.
Not one that we've called anyway.
I got that video. It's going to be a hard edit.
Ferrand goes to Haviland, tips it across the way. Addison Veers finds a soft spot in the zone and leaves it there.
I lost my scoreboard video of that match, and I could upload the game. You won't just have the scoreboard.
Well, you can take a piece of paper and write it down, you know. That's what I do. Oh, and Avery Veers just brushes the top of the net. Watson across. Trying to clean up here as Macy Hensley drops it through. And a timeout for Elkhart Christian. I keep track. Then again, I'm looking at the scoreboard too, so that's kind of cheating.
I don't have the patience to watch a game for the second time, especially when we lose.
Well, sometimes it's good to go back and watch. I watch a lot of football film. My sleepless evenings. Me and the dog watch film. I'm not sure he knows what's going on, but he's there for moral support. Cash is there for moral support. Danny will come out and check on me every once in a while.
Mrs. Bell says she's voting every time there's a timeout.
Well, hey, there you go. There you go. Got to give Don and Becky their shout out. It was good to see them at the tournament on Saturday. That made my day. We won. That also made my day, but it was also made my day to see Don and Becky. Always good to see them. As Veers goes back to serve. Ferrand dumps it across, but it goes out of bounds. Avery Veers back to serve. Secor to Ferrand, passing to the back row. Secor plants her feet, sends it. Veers keeps it alive on the dig. Westhaver. Now to Bulis, who goes back row, but it goes out of bounds.
You watch Family Guy at all?
When the kids aren't around, yes. Sometimes.
I got an episode I got to share with you.
Okay. Westhaver goes up to Macy Hensley, gets it across. Eagles on the attack. Watson, the back across. Holly close to the net. Veers is going to have to set it across, but it goes out of bounds, and now it's set point for the Eagles. They are 1 point away from pushing this to a 4-set. Triton still alive.
Have you seen the episode where Meg plays basketball?
I don't think so.
Okay, you need to see that.
Okay. All right.
There's sports broadcasters in it.
Oh, there is. And Triton falls here in this third set, 25-21. We're headed to the fourth set. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.
While high school sports help students develop their athletic skills, the real lessons in this second classroom are the skills needed for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Carrie Rosati. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA. In high school sports, student athletes aren't just running drills. They're learning discipline and work ethic.
They're not just watching film. They're learning the value of preparation and always finding ways to improve.
They're not just hitting the weight room. They're learning the importance of pushing through any challenges that come their way.
These aren't just some of the skills student athletes need to navigate the game. These are the skills they need to navigate life, to be successful people, to be good humans.
You can ensure these life lessons are taught for generations to come. Be a champion of high school sports and buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is preparing for the game. This is preparing for life. This is your IHSAA.
Where does everyone come together to cheer as one, to build traditions, to show pride? High school sports. I'm Robert Falkins.
And I'm Janie Ulmer. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and we love how high school sports play a key role in the life of every member of a school community.
That's because high school sports are a special place where everyone shows up to have the team's back.
It's amazing to see the whole community, students and parents, coaches and teachers, come together at the school to cheer on their student athletes.
Celebrating high school sports unites us all, and that experience is essential to the pride and passion of an entire community.
Be a champion of high school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is unity. This is pride. This is your IHSAA.
All right, welcome back here as we get this fourth set underway. Andy O'Hara with me here this evening is Caden Hummich on our sideline camera. Mason Van Fossen running our audio for the building here tonight. And as always, the Hall of Famer Ryan Limler doing all the voodoo he does when it comes to getting this stuff working.
Kenny's on tech support.
And Kenny's on tech support. I forgot.
He just said he stopped watching because we lost the last one.
Well, he's been watching the other two sets. And he gave me instructions, or gave you instructions on how to re-add a printer. Ferrant leaves it for Liggett. He's trying to rally here after a tough third set. And Triton gets that opening point. Elkhart Christian, their credit, there was some good passing up front. Ferrant, a very good passer on that front side. Krause, a very good libero. Watson with some nice swings. Liggett and Thuku with some nice plays on the front line for the Eagles. Eagles rotates up. Here comes Addison Veers, rolls it across and drops it right in the middle of the zone. Dahl back to serve. Watson on the return. She wants it back, swings, drives it, Lena Dahl, and that hit can't quite clear back over the net. The Eagles back on the board. It was a good swing by Watson. She's getting some very good swings wherever she's out on the floor. Five seniors on the floor, or 5 seniors on this Elkhart Christian team. 6 for the Trojans, including a manager. Dahl stops it. Pushing it over. Addison Veers rolling into the cross. A double hit call on the Eagles. That's her second double hit call. As Gonzalez will check in for Liggett. She'll go to the back row. And Maya Davis will check on the front line for Triton as Hannah Snyder goes back to serve. Veront brings it, pulls it away from the net. Nice job by her. Macy Hensley drives it down, and Veront couldn't quite handle it. It was a good play going back to Verant's pass. Had to take a tough play off of the net to keep it alive. Snyder again. Gets an ace. She's had a couple here tonight. I think that's 3 for her this evening. Ferrant's got to bring it back, and a free ball sent by Gonzalez. Snyder passing it to Addison Veer. She'll swing through the block. Veront pushing it across to Watson, who tips it across. Hawley's there to answer. Snyder pushing it. Addison Veers tips it across. No one home, but she pushes it out of bounds. Right idea, just pushes it out of bounds. I just went down between sets and asked. Gratrix. Gratrix. If I pronounce that name wrong, I do apologize. That was one I did not ask about. Watson swings through, tipped up front by Triton, and the ball still anyways drops inside the zone. And Triton gets a free point there. Veers now checks in on the front line as Macy Hensley goes back to serve. Deep serve. Gratrix. We'll just say her first name, Eden. In the back row there. I do apologize if I mispronounce the last name. Watson stops it. Snyder pushing it to Addison Veers, who winds up with a good deflection up front by Veront. Haviland checks in on the front line as Watson goes back to serve. Snyder plays it away from the net as Maya Davis plants her feet. And Elkhart Christian rallies it, gets it back across. Good hustle. Addison Veers tips it across and drops it in.
I just had an idea.
You just had an idea.
I've had this idea before, but I've thought of the perfect website to do it on.
Oh, yeah?
Max Preps. They need a button to click on the roster and it'll pronounce their name.
That's a good, that is a wise idea, an ace for Addison Veers. I like that. That way when...
I mean, you can go to a website and type a name in it.
Oh, you can go into Google and type it in.
You don't know if it's...
Oh, it's right or not.
The way they're...
Nadal, that one deflects off of the net, and 4 hits is the call. And Secor to check in, as well as Liggett.
I did contact Max Prep support not too long ago, and they replied within a day.
Wow. I know a guy that used to work. I'm actually related to a guy that used to work for Max Preps. Nadal tips it across. Michelle's aunt's husband used to work for Max Preps when he lived in wherever he used to live. He worked for Max Preps. He asked how often I used it. I said, well, it's usually my second source of information, but volleyball's my go-to. Bielis to serve it across. Close to the net. Verant's got to play it. Hits it across. Lena Dahl drives it. Watson handles it. Secor sends a free ball across. Addison Veers sets it right back to her. Heads up play by Secor. Good hustle. Lena Dahl tips it across. Haviland with the hustle play. Watson drives it. Holly handles it. It's close to the net. Who wants it more? And the Eagles get the point. Well, if he just sneaked. Huh. Veront. Westever checked in a little bit ago. Passes it to Dahl, who gets it across. It's Watson setting it. Lena Dahl can't quite get it. Watson changing it up very well with her hits. Confusing the Triton defense.
Sometimes I think the voodoo card is an excuse not to watch.
The voodoo?
Or, well, I don't know what you want to call it. The superstition.
Well, it kind of depends. For instance, you can ask Anna, I have a thing where you cannot drink the other team's color of drink that night.
Or wear your underwear the same color.
No, you can't wear the other team's color. Now, if their team wears blue, that's different because that's in our colors. However, I don't wear the dad shoes ever. I'm never wearing those ever again. We're never wearing those ever again. The dad shoes are gone. Haviland deflected, but it goes out of bounds off of Triton.
I mean, I started watching the Cubs last night when they were down, and then they went up.
I have a thing. I try to check in on the Braves every odd inning. So I watch them in the first. Then I'll wait till about the third and the fifth and the seventh to all kind of check in. I don't watch the even innings. If they go into extras, I don't watch. Got to think about that. The Hoosiers, I have to watch the game and listen to Don Fisher because I don't like how the guys talk on TV. But that's, if I listen to the guys on TV, they never do as well. If I just listen to Don Fisher on the radio, they seem to do pretty decent. So I need to make sure I'm just doing it that way. That app is nice that we got to use last year. The IU Sports app that we used last year. I like using that. Yeah, it comes down to superstition. Now, like for me, I mean, I showing livestock, there was a silver dollar I won when I won a show, and every time I had that silver dollar in my boot, I made it to the grand drive every time. So, just saying, the couple of times I didn't have it, I didn't make the grand drive. Superstition's a thing, man. I'm telling you. There's a reason why it's there. Just saying. Bulis up the Dahl, sets it across. Liggett answers. Avery Veers tips it across. I got another funny one, I'll tell you. Haviland tips it right back. Veers. Westaver pushing it across. As Lena Dahl drives it across. Blocked up front, Avery Veers. Eagles are rallying. That's a deep hit. Bulis keeps it alive. Veers leaves it across for Westaver, who swings. Watson handles it. Ferrand keeps it alive with a dump shot. De Haviland, out of bounds. When the Denver Broncos used to have a player by the name of Clinton Portis, who's their running back, every time I played a song, they're going to say that Triton tipped it. That's going to be the call, so Elkhart Christian with the point. I had played this specific song, and every single time I played that song, he never went backwards on the line. It's true. It worked. Lena Dahl tips, drives it through. Haviland. Now, whether or not it actually worked is another thing. It's just, I like to think it helped. Veers sends it across, but a good rally by the Eagles again. Addison Veers, back row, dumps it down. Excuse me. Here's a serve, just grazes the top of the net. Stuku answers. And Triton doing a lot of hitting out there with the one hand. Got to bring those second hands in to get a more direct pass. So Holdeman will check in. She'll rotate to the back row. Then again, I also think that the Broncos can hear me when I'm yelling at them on TV too, but that doesn't help. Close to the net. It was a hard one to play as it kind of died at the top there. As Triton's passing not quite on point here. Score rotates right back in. It's Haviland back to serve. Macy Hensley swings it through. The block is strong. They deflect it. Watson tracks it down. Tracks it down. The Eagles couldn't quite clear it. So both teams go full circle on their serving rotation. It's 14-12 here in this fourth set, excuse me. Ferrand leaves it for Liggett. Westaver leaves it for Macy Hensley. She drives it down. A good dig by Kraus. And Addison Veers gets a good play across the front of the net. A good swing by Watson again. She leads the teams with 245 kills coming into tonight. My max prep stats, that one goes out of bounds. As Gonzalez rotates in. Maya Davis in, as well as Hannah Snyder.
Tomorrow night I'll have the first live broadcast of junior high volleyball from the TAC.
Oh, that's tomorrow night. I have to watch Jackson because the other two have youth group. They're saying out of bounds. AC Hensley tips it, had the right idea, but deflects it out of bounds.
Got 80 watching on YouTube.
Well, pretty appreciate everybody watching. And 2 watching. Hey, we got viewership. Addison Veers drives it down. 18-14 is Avery Veers now will check in. Timeout. Elkhart Christian. So, of course, Ryan said the JV junior high tomorrow night. We're playing over in the TAC.
I don't know what it's about junior high volleyball, but people love watching it on YouTube.
Well,
let's see, I posted a game.
I'd help you out, but Jackson's kind of a handful to take to a game. And I'm not sure. I'd feel bad if anybody would babysit that kid. Just saying, I feel bad for his teachers.
Yeah, this eighth grade at Lakeview last week. It's almost to 7,000 views.
Wow. Well, hey, you know.
Hey, your interviews with the girls from last week, they're up to 303.
Oh, there we go. It was a very important discussion. We talked about where to go get the best food at Blueberry Festival. I'm just, maybe next year I'll just show up a little bit early and go. That thing that Addison talked about, I'll have to re-listen to so I know exactly what that is so I can order it. That sounded pretty good. Hensley. Ferrant pushing it to Watson. And the Eagles get a kill right out of the timeout. Swanson back to serve. Gets the location from coach. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers, but couldn't quite clear it. As the Eagles cut the lead to 2 here in this fourth set. Holly handles it. It's close to the net, but Triton can't make a play on it. Eagles knocking on the door, down by 1. Coach Evelyn trying to talk to his girls on the floor, trying to fire them up. As the Eagles with the momentum right here, Triton needing a swing to get that big point, and Veers hits, goes out of bounds, ties it up at 18. And Coach Evelyn going to call a timeout. Triton trying to find their traction again. Had that lead, was really cruising there for a while to start this fourth set. Elkhart Christian drove their way back into it. Triton then again retook the lead and got back out in front. I guess have had the lead. And then they just allowed them back in. The passing just needs to get back on point. The communication. Look how you're rotating the floor. Trust one another out there. If you're Elkhart Christian, this team, you got to love the effort and the heart they're displaying here. After dropping those first 2 sets, they're not going away. Triton settles in. See, they straighten things out here. This final push of the fourth set. Addison Veers tips it across, blocked up front by Holdeman, and Holly somehow tracks it back across. Haviland drove it. And Triton's going to get called for a net violation. Or a double hit, rather.
We are 48 subscribers away from 15,000 on YouTube.
Oh, really? Here's rolls it across. Haviland gets another point. Sit too close. As West Haven now to check in.
Thunder Strikes always tells me how close we are to a milestone.
Always appreciate Thunder Strikes. Veers back across. And that one up in the rafters, and Triton a chance to get it across. Avery Veers goes for broke and keeps it alive with a hustle play. Watson back across. Hawley with the dig. Close to the net. Avery Veers again with a big play. Ferrand back across. Westhaver pushing it back the other way. Addison Veers rolls it across. Watson now to answer. Ferrand back to Watson in the back row. She'll plant her feet and drive it across. Veers again, a close play to the net. Veers again. And a point for Triton, as they're going to say that Elkhart Christian in the net, but Avery Veers, her movement on that set was inspiring. The hustle, the drive. Love the competitiveness of that young lady. Davis across. Lena Dahl, send it down. Ties it at 20. Addison Veers to serve. Gonzalez to Verant. Watson tipping it across. Maya Davis. They're going to say that Triton, I'm not sure what the call is here. Elkhart Christian gets the point. Triton trying to take the match here, 5 points away. Elkhart Christian 4 points away from pushing it to a fifth set. Davis dumps it across. Ferrant pushing it to Haviland. Blocked up front, Avery Veers. Watson across, Veers to answer. Close play, and Avery Veers will cross under the net. Secor to serve. A double hit call as Triton gets tied up.
Who won this matchup last year?
Elkhart Christian at their place in 5 sets. We're in for a battle. Maya Davis to Lena Dahl, who tips it across. Good front play by the Eagles. Has them put up for set point.
I think Kenny should start watching again.
Secor now. That one goes out of bounds. Still a chance for Triton. You're going to have to be perfect here. As Elkhart Christian with all the momentum on their side. Davis sends it across. Watson tips it across. Lena Dahl back the other way. Haviland once on the far side. She goes across. Lena Dahl answers. Addison Veers sets it across. Triton still alive here in the 4th set. Down by 2. Evelyn Engel will now check in. She'll go back to the back row. Haviland wants it, clears it. Maya Davis drives it across, goes out of bounds. We're headed to a 5th set as Elkhart Christian takes that one 25-22. We'll take a break and be back here for that fifth and final set right after this.
Where does everyone come together to cheer as one, to build traditions, to show pride? High school sports. I'm Robert Falkins.
And I'm Janie Ulmer. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and we love how high school sports play a key role in the life of every member of a school community.
That's because high school sports are a special place where everyone shows up to have the team's back.
It's amazing to see the whole community, students and parents, coaches and teachers, come together at the school to cheer on their student athletes.
Celebrating high school sports unites us all, and that experience is essential to the pride and passion of an entire community.
Be a champion of high school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is unity. This is pride. This is your IHSAA.
In high school sports, there are some things more important than winning.
Like helping student athletes build character, become better people, and prepare for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Chris Kaufman. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA, and we believe the purpose of high school sports is much greater than what the scoreboard says.
It's about teaching. It's about growth. It's about developing the whole person, not just the athlete.
That's our number one priority. Every sport, every student athlete, every day.
Let's champion what we believe in, like learning, like character, like integrity.
If you support the mission of high school sports and the life lessons they teach, then buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events. Join us in being a champion of high school sports.
This is what we do. This is what we believe. This is your IHSAA.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here at the Trojan Trenches. We're getting ready for the fifth and final set as we have had a slugfest as Triton took those opening two sets 25-15. And Elkhart Christian came roaring back as Triton had a solid lead there in the third, but came back. Elkhart Christian, it was a slugfest back and forth. They won that one 25-21. Triton got out to an early lead in the fourth, and Elkhart Christian closed the door as they won that one. You just saw there, 25-22. As the Eagles won the toss, they'll go back to serve. Havlin, Sakur, Ferrant, Watson, Thuku, and Liggett, the group out there for Elkhart Christian. Snyder, Hensley, Dahl, Veers, Bulis, and Hawley, the six out there for Triton. Hensley drops it across. Triton gets the opening point. Now, if you're Triton, how do you build here? So Elkhart Christian has been very good. Triton has had 7 aces to their credit. See if their passing improves here. That one goes out of bounds.
This only goes to 15, by the way.
Yes, it does. Only goes to 15. Win by 2. Dahl back across. Sakura up to the front line. Watson drives it. Hawley with the dig. Addison Veers goes back row. Sakura keeps it alive. Watson tips it across. Bulis there to answer. Snyder pushes it. Addison Veers drives it down with authority. Goes top shelf.
Now, I've never watched college. Do they go to 15 on the fifth set? Well, I thought you'd know because you've watched it.
I don't pay attention to I try to listen to the commentary.
Maybe you've never seen them go 5 sets.
Well, no, I've never actually seen them go 5 sets. That's a good point. I mean, like I said, I watch a set here and there, listen to broadcasters, and watch. I'll tell you what, them girls that hit in college, holy cow. You talk about moving, it's like 100 mile an hour. Everybody around, it's like, wow. They're moving. Bulis stops it. Hawley keeps it alive. Veers forced to go to free ball to the front line. Watson wants it back on the far side left corner. She'll tip it across, blocked up front. Elkhart Christian on 2-point swing. For Triton, if you're there on that team, who's going to make that one play that's going to fire you up? Help you on a run, but Elkhart Christian, Watson has been that person, but for me, it's been Veron for them with a nice passing. Macy Hensley reaches up and drives it down. Who's going to shift the momentum? Davis to check in. Gonzalez to check in for Elkhart Christian. Snyder back to serve. Veron pushing it to Watson. She winds up, drives it down. Addison Veers wants a swing. She'll drive it. Watson answers that one's up to the net. And Holdeman tips it. No one home for Triton. Greatrix back to serve it. Veers stops it. Snyder to Addison Veers. Drives it down.
Can we do that 10 more times in a row?
Passing's got to be on point, but the big thing is how you can handle those rebounds, those deflections. Watson to do the same thing. Blocked up front. The Veers sisters. Addison with the block. An ace. Macy Hensley. That's a big point for Triton. Gonzalez on the return. Durant. Snyder goes through. I don't think Triton touched it. That's the call. The ref says it went out of bounds. A timeout for the Eagles. But for Triton, you're going to have to come out firing here on this timeout because Elkhart Christian has been very efficient coming out of the timeouts here tonight. Of course, Friday night, we don't know yet if we'll be live at Culver for football.
No, we will.
Well, we will.
We just don't know from which stand or which viewpoint or.
Well, Tyler will be back with us on Friday. Farrell will be out for a couple games. Since that's a hard one for him to get to. He might be there for Pioneer, depending on that's also weather dependent. Permission dependent.
Pretty much any away game is.
Dependent on anything with that. So it's
well, we've been to Winnemac and been inside before.
We've
also been outside of Winnemac.
Yeah, we have been outside. We've been outside at Knox one time. We got soaked for that.
Well, we didn't broadcast.
We didn't broadcast, but we got soaked. Also broadcast in the booth there. Trenton Kreft was on the broadcast with us that night. Talked to Q the other night.
We probably need to have an alumni get together.
For the I believe that would be great. That'd be an interesting evening. Be a fun one. Addison Veers blocked up front and deflects. It goes out of bounds, and Triton gets the point out of the timeout. It's like strong block up front, but it goes out of bounds.
We probably should have done it last year because it was our 10-year anniversary last year.
True. An ace for Macy Hensley. Gonzalez, the hit's close to the net. Avery Veers sends it down, but Gonzalez answers it. Watson with a strong hit gets the point, stops the Triton run. And she goes back to serve. Snyder leaves it. Addison Veers sends it down, but Eagles on an answer. Avery Veers. Watson scrambles and gets it across. It's close to the net. And Haviland answers along the net. Coach Stephen wanting a lift. Snyder now to Davis. Watson answers. Tries to deflect it. The Eagles on a run. Snyder trying to fire for team timeout, Coach Evelyn. So Triton responds out of the timeout here. Elkhart Christian to serve out of the timeout.
Oh, we're almost to 90 viewers.
It's been a good match. Elkhart Christian tonight continue to battle, lost those first 2 sets, but they have been very dominant in the last 2.
But don't forget to go on to South Bend Tribune.
Go for Addison.
And vote for Addison Beers. I'll put a link on TritonTrojans.org later tonight, a direct link to that voting.
This is Jackson's favorite song. I got a video of him playing air guitar to this. That's going to come out senior year or when he's playing. We can throw that on a broadcast. His little...
Oh, the video of him doing that?
Him doing with the guitar. I'm telling you, it's funny. He was on point. Had the head bob and everything. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers. Tips it across, and Triton gets the point out of the timeout. Veers, strong serve. Gonzalez on the return. Watson will hit from beyond. Tipped by Veers up front. Maya Davis tips it or sends it across. Tipped by Holdeman. Up to Lena Dahl. Tips it across, and Triton gets the point.
Three away.
Addison Veers in a timeout for Elkhart Christian. They try to rally here.
I don't know if I've seen this many timeout this season.
It's been a good one, man, I'll tell you. I was asked earlier, what kind of match do you think we're going to see? I said, I think we're going to see a good one tonight. I think we're going to see a battle.
What do you know what record Bethany has? Uh-oh. Is his card full?
Uh-oh. He hasn't texted me yet. I do not know. I have not looked.
His camera's working. Maybe he's just ready to go.
Yeah, he was a little hard to wake up this morning.
Nights like this don't help my editing time. Oh.
Veers a serve. Gonzalez on the return. Trying gets the point as Watson's hit couldn't quite clear the net. Veers couldn't quite clear it. Secor back to serve. Davis pushing it across. Lena Dahl drives it down. Triton now a chance for match point.
I want to say we appreciate the Elkhart Christian fans who are watching. They're always great hosts when we go up there.
Oh, absolutely. That's always a...
We've never been there for volleyball, but for basketball they have.
They have always hosted us extremely well up there. Very gracious hosts. Always make sure we had a table and we're always set up. That's a fun gym to travel to. And Triton wins 15-7 as they got out in front and didn't look back here in this fifth and final set as they won 15-7. Triton, that's their second time this season. They've gone to 5 sets, and they have won both of them. As they will improve to 14-1 on the season, Elkhart Christian will fall to 11-8. As Triton won the first 2 sets 25-15, 25-15 in the second. Elkhart Christian won the next two, 25-21 and 25-22. And Triton, as you just saw there, won 15-7.
No interviews tonight, no.
So with that being said, we're going to hang it up here tonight from the Trojan Trench as we get things packed up. We'll be back next time. As I'm Andy O'Hara, with me tonight was Caden Hummich, Mason Van Fossen, and the Hall of Famer Ryan Limler. And real quick, want to make sure we say congrats to Alexa and Ian on Saturday as they get married. So with that being said, until next time, remember the Trojan way.